Our first segment of the day. Actually, we have in Ravens legend Mark Clayton, who joins the show for us. Big time Ravens legend, high on the receivers list. Welcome to the show, man.
What up, Sam? What up, Kate?
Man, I'm pumped, Mark. I can't lie. We got the rookies coming in tomorrow for the
Right.
Ravens. I mean, look, it's a great class, but I think the thing that really excites me is the fact that the Ravens didn't lose too much and they added some talent here. And you obviously being a former receiver, I got to ask you about D-Hop to start this off, man. DeAndre Hopkins coming in. He's a
Yeah.
vet. He knows his way around, and Lamar Jackson clearly wanted him on the team a couple of years ago. Now he gets
Right.
him. But what does D-Hop bring to this team, and how important is it for a younger core like with Zay Flowers and Rashod Bateman to have a vet like D-Hop, like Baltimore had a couple of years ago with Odell Beckham Jr.?
Yeah, and that was huge too. And now with D Hop though, is trust, reliability, and experience. You can't freaking beat it. And it's like, when you get in the receiver room, you're going on that championship run. It's just always good to have that truly reliable target like that, especially with the young talent that's in there and only going to go up from here.
I think the big thing too with DeAndre Hopkins is you're not asking him to come in here and be the wide receiver one for this team. You do have guys like Zay and Rashod Bateman. DeAndre, I think, can play really well off of those guys. And not only that, Mark, I think with Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely and all the talent they have, it's going to be, I think, a better year for D-Hop because I think you can scale back his role while also letting him shine in the moments where he needs to.
Right.
But then you got Rashod Bateman. And Rashod Bateman gets his extension, 3 years, 36.75. We actually just saw Garrett Wilson of the Jets today get a massive deal over $30 million annually. So Bateman's deal feels like a steal to me. But
Definitely.
I remember talking to you last year, and your message to Rashod Bateman was just to play his game, be himself, and trust in himself. And we saw him have a career year. I mean, what did you see from Rashod this year, and how happy are you that he was able to parlay that into the deal he got?
Bro, I'm so excited for him. And I mean, it's just any other guys that has got in and went through things that he's went through and dealt with everything he dealt with and was able to put a season like that together. And then just be a program guy, just the respect that he's gotten around the community in the locker room, huge. And so it all paid off, and I think it's going to pay dividends for us this year.
Yeah, Mark, you are one of the few Ravens first round pick wide receivers. You know what it's like to come into a system like this where you're not really asked to catch the ball 15 times. You're not throwing the ball a whole bunch. To have a guy like Rashod Bateman who has been in that grind. It's not easy. We had guys like Hollywood Brown who came into the system, didn't really care
Right.
for it, didn't really have the success elsewhere, but still fans understand the hesitation to be in a system like this. But to still perform like Zay Flowers and Rashod Bateman has, it must feel good for you, for someone who went through something similar in Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, and it comes down to leadership. When you got that type of leadership, you come in and they're going to make sure, there's some pressure on, but they're going to take the pressure off because it's a team game. And we just, I mean, with our management and what EDC and everybody's done to build that team, there's so much talent in there that nobody has to be the hero. Like Lamar is going to be the hero because that's freaking Lamar. But at the end of the day, when it comes to pass catchers or running backs or whoever has the ball in their hands, it's by committee. And we got people that can get it done and at every phase or at every area of the field. And so, for Zay, for Bay, for Hop, for Mark, for Isaiah, it's going to be fun. And, and it gets fun when you just want your boy to do what, like everybody's making a play and you just rooting for him to make another play. And everybody just, it's just going in the circle. Like we all just rooting for everybody to make the next play. And that gets really fun. And as it gets deeper into the season and plays me more down the stretch, I'm just, looking forward to seeing the growth in our receiver room as well as the value of Hop showing up late in the season when we need some, plays we made down the stretch.
Seems like the Ravens have done a little bit more to get over that hump that the Ravens have, tried to get through. It seems like since 2019, especially 2023 and 24. How excited are you for this upcoming season? Because it feels like fans just feel the anticipation of them finally getting over that hump. Do you feel the same way? Do you think they've done enough to push through it, or do you think it's just going to take a little bit of luck on our end to get over the hump?
I think with every organization, it takes a little bit of luck. Like it's hard, dude. It's freaking hard. It's hard to win a championship. It's hard to win the AFC championship, and it's hard to win the Super Bowl. And so the best thing you do is put as much talent on the field as you possibly can, and talent with chemistry. And I think we've done a tremendous job. And if our season isn't off to, unfortunate but fortunate start with Malaki being our first pick, and sadly having the injury this offseason, and then ultimately he's going to have to step up. But we have probably the best defensive player, arguably, maybe the top 2 defensive players, arguably, in this draft on our squad in our first 2 picks. And so that pick will, hopefully pay dividends in something that we didn't really expect for it to, have to be involved that early, that much. And so, here we are, beginning the season, and things are looking bright. And it's like the moves that we made in the offseason are making sense. And so I'm just excited to see how it all plays out.
Now the rookies, Mark, they're coming in tomorrow, and I want you to take me back to 2005. You're a rookie. You're coming into training camp for the first time. You're ready to contribute, make a name for yourself. I mean, can you take us back into like what that experience was like for you heading into that, meeting your teammates, and continuing to build up to the season? Like, what's that like as a rookie?
Man, it is like, and I'm sure the guys have, because you just want to prove yourself amongst your peers. You just want to prove that you are that dude, like, and you want to make a name for yourself, especially guys that didn't get drafted or they're later round. Like, you just excited to have the opportunity to make a name for yourself, and then being the top guy, you want to make sure that they know they didn't waste that pick. And so me getting in there with the type of veteran leadership we had, Ray, Ed Reed, Prime was still there. Like, that was incredible. I mean, from Samari Rowe, Chris McAllister, Dale Carter, that vet, 13 years and up in the secondary with those positions, that was like football heaven for me, like going into as a receiver. And so it was, I was excited to get in and make my name really known, and let them know that, I'm gonna be a contributor to the organization, and I want to be a part of what is giving us a chance to win championships. And so that excitement, you're probably gonna be a little antsy and rushed a little bit, because you're just excited, you're anxious to make plays and get in there and get after it. And so getting through the first couple of days or whatnot, you'll be set, and then the nerves will come off and the anxiety will go away, and you just be in camp, which camp is a little different nowadays, which I wish our camp was. Actually, they called it Camp Sharman.
I'm about to say, I remember.
Now that I think about it, it wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad. I actually got in there a couple days late because we had a little contract thing that was going on, and I just remembered, Ed telling me, like, bro, just go hard. Don't worry about it. Like, just go hard. Coach gonna take care of us. And he did. He really did. Yes. He took great care of us. So I would say our camp back then was similar to kind of the camps they are today. And that gives you the freedom to just fly around and not worry about being fatigued tomorrow because you're doing 2-3 hour practices for the first 3 days. Gosh, that sounds so
that's crazy.
Heavy. That's heavy. Anyways, but so yeah, the excitement that you have, you can just go let it rip and just have fun, man. And I mean, you're getting to take your first practice snaps in the NFL. That is awesome. Like, it's awesome.
That's great. I think Brian Billick's training camp was a little more lenient than John Harbaugh had. There was some contention between the vets because of that shift, but ultimately helped them get a championship. The Ravens and the fan base were starving for a receiver when they drafted you in the first round way back when, and there was a lot of pressure to come at you with that. How did you navigate that pressure? Did you feel that pressure coming into training camp as well? And did you use it to feed you, or did you try and put it in the back burner to get set for your first year as NFL pro?
Yeah, I have probably put more pressure on myself than anybody could, and I just was known for working in one of the grinders, and I feel like I would have been a solid Gruden grinder, second team, whatever. But it was like that was just normal. And so, I put it on myself to know the playbook like the quarterback knew the playbook as a young pup. And that way they knew they could trust me. And then when I got the ball in my hands to just make plays, however you got to do it, just make plays, turn short, catches into long catches, or convert third downs, convert fourth down, just step up and make the plays that are there to be made. And I think that pressure was sufficient for me and led to, a solid, rookie season. And, I would have liked to get the ball a lot more, but it was what it was. And we had a fun season. I think we won 6 games that year. It was probably the funnest with that locker room that I've had in the NFL. But I learned a ton and was able to me have a successful rookie season because the guys around me and a lot of that veteran leadership taking the pressure off of me, the pressure I had on myself. Really, they were like, dude. I remember Coach Fossil Jr. He was like, man, I would try to get in there Mondays, even on Tuesdays, and do work. And he was like, look, man, take the day off. You need it. It's a long season. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm just going to do a little more than everybody else. He was like, dude, this season is so long, bro. You're going to need this day. Sure enough, as the season got later in the season, I get home at 3 o'clock. I would crash to essentially midnight and be up. I'll watch film and then take a nap and then go to the facility in the morning. And I was like, man, dude, you're right. This is a different kind of season. And so with that, I just say, like, man, for, myself and guys that are like me who really want to prove it to people and that put a lot of pressure on themselves, even more so than what comes from outside, voices, is like, man, you're okay. Like, it's okay to figure it out. It's okay to, mess it up. You're not going to make all the plays. It's okay. It's okay. You're learning, you're growing, and your brothers, they got your back. If you don't make a play, somebody else will make a play. Somebody's not going to make a play, and you're going to be able to bail them out. And that's the beauty of it being a team sport and a team game and having a good group of guys around you that just support you in that.
I'm curious to hear too, because you talk about the vets you were surrounded with you being a rookie and how they were telling you, all right, this is how it's going to be. Don't worry, don't stress about this. How did that help you find your voice later on in your career as you kind of got acclimated to the NFL life and you kind of transitioned from a rookie to a vet? Do you look back on your interactions when you were a younger player, first year, second year guy, and said, man, I don't know where I'd be if I didn't have these vets around me right now? Is that kind of where you were?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, because there's a lot going on, things moving fast, and all that, and you're adjusting to schedule and how you travel and the game day optics, and it's the NFL. That is an adjustment, but it's not. It's not so much of an adjustment that you're not able to just be you, to just perform, to be the player that they saw when they were scouting you and why they brought you in there in the first place. But some of the kind of emotional, part to it, you'll have to work through some of that. But ultimately, man, it's like I really say, man, it's just football. like man, it's just football. Dog. Like at the end of the day, they got different play names, different playbooks, and it's all that. But at the end of the day, it's just football. And so that part like gets you just grounded and where you can just go out and play your game.
That's awesome. Well, Mark, I appreciate you so much for joining us on the show. Live stream, it's crazy.
Great to see you guys, man. Yeah.
Great to see you again. We got to get you back on when the season starts for sure. But before we let you go, let the folks watching and listening at home know what you're working on.
Hey, well, hit me up. Well, not only hit me up, go over to liveaudio.com and check out what we created. It is the best workout headphone in an over-ear that you have ever seen and worn in your life. I promise you that.
It's awesome.
For it.
It is awesome.
It really is.
I got me a pair, guys. Cheap plug. I got this as soon as I could. Been working out with it. Even for leisurely stuff, I've been using it. Sounds awesome. Fits in my head awesome. So I'm very happy for you, Mark. And, I'm enjoying the product. So
absolutely.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it. It's been a hell of a road in development. If anybody's out there like in product development or they got product or whatnot like that, and the grind that it takes to kind of go through the process and the iterations and dealing with software and all the electrical, like it is a grind, but it is sweet when you figure it out and you get it done and you deliver it. And it reacts, or the experience is what it is. So we're excited. We're excited, and so we're moving them into the market, and the response has been tremendous. And so we're just looking forward to having an awesome fall.